Welcome to the Mommillennials podcast, where we don't claim to have all the answers, just a willingness to figure it out. We're your hosts, Jocelyn
and Lauren, proud girl moms and best friends sharing our take on mommyhood. Whether you're changing a dirty diaper, stuck in traffic, or just have a minute to yourself,
we're so happy you're here. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Is your mic okay?
My mic is okay.
Okay, great. I think my mic is okay too.
Hopefully.
I'm looking at our little sound gauge to make sure we're good.
We're good.
Yay!
Yay. How have you been?
I've been good.
This week.
Good. Busy.
I feel like we haven't talked that much.
No, we haven't.
Yeah. It's been a little crazy.
That needs to change.
Yes.
Things need to come back into order, and I need to call you a million times a day.
I know.
My phone battery needs to die because we're on FaceTime all the time. Like, we need order again.
Yes, we do. What have you been up to?
Just been like trying to catch up with life, people. I feel like we go through phases where like you remember people or people remember you, and then, you know, you want to connect and like all this other stuff. And I love doing that. Mm-hmm. It also takes a lot of time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know, we just did dinner with our friends a couple days ago. That was really nice.
That was so nice.
I guess it was like, yeah, just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know every day feels like a whole week sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good. Connecting with friends. But it's hard too because there's a lot of coordination.
Yeah.
And then sometimes your social battery's like,
oh, for sure.
By the end of it all. I think everyone understands that though. So
yeah,
I don't think anyone's kind of like holding that against anyone, you know?
Yeah. What I've been loving is like having conversations with folks that then give me inspiration for things that we can do here.
Oh, I know.
Like,
yeah. I love it when friends are like, I love that episode.
Yeah.
You guys should talk about this next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had lunch with a friend the other day, and we were talking about Mommillennials, of course, because like that's the only thing I talk about now. And I was...
Is she a Mommillennial?
She's a Mommillennial.
Okay.
We were talking about our birth story episodes, and then I was talking about how we need to record Layla's. And we were talking about home birth because obviously in our birth story episode, we talked about both of us really wanting a home birth. And she has 2 kids. And she said that with her first, she had the thought of like, it can't be that bad, right? Giving birth, labor, it can't be that bad. And I was dying laughing because she said that then when she went into labor, she's in the hospital. She's like, I'm really glad I'm in a hospital right now.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
well, I'm crazy for some, smart for others.
Yeah, absolutely. It's subjective, right? And so I was like, yes, we need to talk about this. Like, we need to talk about Layla. We need to talk about home birth. We need to talk about all of these things if you're up for it.
100% up for it. I love getting questions around home birth.
Yeah, it's like
home
a foreign
birth, around
topic.
Layla's birth specifically. I think that it is a foreign topic. I think there's a lot of people that don't even realize it's still a thing. Or not still a thing, but a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I think home births are sometimes an idea that people have around like how it used to be, like back in the day, or like a matter of circumstance, not by choice. You know what I mean? In certain countries, that's the way it goes because they have to do it at home.
I know someone who had a home birth not on purpose, like recently, like in the last couple of years. Yeah, it was like her second or third kid. And the baby just came.
Popped out.
The baby came while they were waiting for grandparents to come to take care of the other kids so that they could make their way to the hospital. And then baby was here.
Wow.
And I was like, badass.
That's amazing.
And she was like, no, not badass.
Scary?
I don't know. We didn't we're not
super
close. So like, it was just kind of like a what?
Well,
it was before I had Aurora, like, you know, like I was like, that's crazy.
Well, hearing that's crazy because I had a home birth, and having a home birth in that way is not the home birth that I would have wanted.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the home birth that a lot of people assume is the way you have a home birth. You're laboring at home and you can't get to the hospital in time, and then you have your baby at home.
Before Aurora was breached, that was my plan.
What was your plan?
Was to labor at home as long as possible.
Not everyone's. That's a lot of moms' plan.
You know, they tell you like when your contractions are like 3 minutes apart. I would tell Steve, I'd be like, we're waiting until it's 2 minutes. And then people would be like, what if she's born at home? And I'm like, well, if she's born at home, she's born at home. Whoops.
Yeah.
God knows why things work out the way they do, right? But like, you know, but you're right.
Yeah. Because I know how my experience went. And we'll get into it. I just can't envision that. Like, oops, baby's here without a medical team here.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about like the prep work.
Yeah.
But maybe let's like do that a little bit later. And let's talk about like, I think a lot of people don't realize that you have a team of people here.
During the home birth.
Yeah. When you have a home birth. Mm-hmm. So talk to us about that. Like, who was your labor team?
Yeah, my labor team was my midwife, who I saw throughout my entire pregnancy, my doula, which my midwife was like, you need a doula. She doesn't do births without mom having a doula. Mm-hmm. It's a requirement, which I love.
Yeah.
Because some people are kind of on the fence about getting a doula sometimes. And I love how the midwife was like, no, you're getting a doula because you need to have one.
Yeah.
My midwife's birthing assistant. And that's it. And my husband. Because he's part of the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
At minimum, the midwife, the assistant, doula, some people require it, some don't, and then whoever else you want there, right? Mm-hmm. It can also be more than just your spouse. Mm-hmm. It can be, but I will say that the midwife was like, you don't want too many people.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, so each person played a different role. Should I explain that?
Yeah. Sorry, you know where my mind is?
What?
I wanted to be a part of that birth team so bad.
Jocelyn is just replaying all of that and just wondering why she wasn't a part of it.
I was like, you need me, I will be here. You were like, I got it, thanks.
I was like, no, I'm good. I don't need, like, you've seen a lot of me, but I don't need you seeing my entire body split open down there.
I was like, put me in, coach.
Which is so funny because I ended up becoming friends with my doula. Shout out Miranda. We're going to get you on this podcast very soon.
We love Miranda.
I ended up becoming friends with her, and now she knows what my entire vagina
getting
looks
jealous.
like. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Okay, but explain to us like what each person's role is.
Yes. So at least for my experience, what was very surprising was that my midwife and the birthing assistant were chilling downstairs the whole time. I was laboring upstairs. They did not interfere with the laboring at all. And when I say interfere, I mean they were not.
How's it going?
They weren't physically present during my laboring process. They would pop up.
And by laboring process, you mean pre-pushing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because for those that don't know, labor is a very, very, very long process. I know that there's a lot of misconceptions around labor because when people hear, oh, I'm going into labor, they think that the baby is coming, mm-hmm. and it is not. To my surprise, during the preparation work, I learned that labor can be over the course of multiple days. Mm-hmm. Even to the point where you could start laboring, you could stop laboring, and then you could restart labor. Mm. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
The more you know, right? And so when my contractions got to a certain point that my midwife had discussed with me, in my last appointment, I called them and I was like, hey, this is where we're at. They came, they checked the baby's heartbeat, they checked positioning, they checked everything. And then they were like, we will be out of your way and we will periodically check on you, do your thing, we're here but not here, right? And it was really kind of off-putting because I know that my midwife had talked to me about that being the setup, but when it was actually happening, this is going to sound so funny, but when people come to my house, I feel a responsibility to host them.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm like, can I offer you a coffee, a tea, snacks, food, entertainment? I don't know. And so the fact that they were downstairs chilling in my house, I was like, they're bored. Like, they're bored.
When it's literally their job.
Yes. I'm like, they're bored. I need to feed them.
That is hilarious.
I couldn't stop thinking about that for a little bit. And then I was like, I need to just get over myself. So then I had to, and I think that might be another reason why they're kind of like out of sight, out of mind, because they were just like, no, we'll come when it's time. Mm-hmm. And so my doula was with me during the whole time. And those are the roles. So essentially midwife is there to basically come in at the very end, or if anything is happening from a distress standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. When she's doing her periodic checks, or if I'm starting to feel like something's wrong, she's there. If we need to do a hospital transfer at any point, she will manage that. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then the doula is there to help labor with different positions, different pain management techniques, etc. And then when baby's coming, the birth assistant is there to help the midwife. And then your spouse is there to support in any way that you need support. So that's everyone's role. And my role is to get the baby out.
Yeah, to have the baby. Yeah. Okay. So when obviously, like, I've heard this story probably multiple times.
Yeah. Sorry to bore you.
I love hearing it because every single time I think you share anything about Layla's birth, it brings out different feelings in me. One of the things that I think has been surprising for me was what that whole laboring process looked like. Because even when we talked about it, we had come up with some emoji to send each other. Right? We're like...
It's so dumb looking back. I'm like, that's so dumb.
You're like, we'll send each other an emoji and that's how we'll know that you're okay.
So unnecessary.
Yeah. Well,
because
go
why?
Ahead.
Well, because we didn't know what
it would
entail.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
We didn't know what labor was going to be like. And so I think when we came up with the emoji idea, it was because we were envisioning like things are hectic, baby's going to come, but here's a quick sign that I'm okay. Which, that wasn't the case.
So yeah, that's what I think people need to know, right? Because again, we didn't know. So I kept being like, how am I going to know? Like, how am I going to know that you're okay? How am I going to know that you're chugging along? Yeah. You know, and it's not like, how am I going to know? It's like, we wanted each other to know, right? It's not my Scorpio-ness coming out because I won the award for least annoying friend.
Yes.
Because I sent you the emoji. Like, we had kind of been communicating, then a few hours had gone by. I sent you the emoji, and then I got a reply that was like, this is Yassine. Please stop texting us. Not like that, but it was like, this is Yassine. Everything's fine, but Lauren is in the zone.
Yeah.
Like, I will let you know when this baby's born.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right. I rarely have to deal with my anxiety myself.
You were like, let me sit my ass down.
And I was like, let me sit down. Yeah. I'm sure they will let me know when this baby is born. But I will say, knowing that you were laboring, for me, what was hard is I couldn't figure out how to be there for you. Yeah. Right? I was like, can she feel my vibes?
Okay, but I totally get you now.
I was like, can she feel it? I'm like thinking about you. And I'm like, let this give her strength. You know?
No, I think this is fun because we've talked a lot about my experience, but we haven't really talked too much in depth about what it was like for you to be on the other side of it. And our friend Catherine, who recently gave birth, when she was laboring, I couldn't help but want to know that she was okay. Yeah. And even if I got the everything's okay text, I still couldn't let it go.
Well, for me,
what I mean?
I just also kept thinking, like, what if at one point she thinks she can't do it? What if at one point it gets too much and she's like, take me to hospital? I want to be like, you can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I totally understand where you're coming from with that. And it's just so different because in the moment, I didn't realize that I was going to be very much like, I don't want to hear from anybody because
it's a distraction.
It is a distraction.
Yeah, you're on a mission.
Because before all of this, I was like, yeah, I want to be able to talk to my friends and it's going to give me the power.
Yeah.
To empowerment to continue, right? I'm going to be reminded that I'm a badass from all my friends. You got this. All of that positive affirmation. And all that sounds really wonderful. But when I was in it, I was like, D&D.
Yeah.
I needed to be in the zone. And so, but it's so hard because again, like now having friends that are giving birth, I don't know how to show up for that person. And then I started panicking. Remember when Catherine was going into labor because I was like, wait, we didn't talk about this. What does she want from me? Does she want, which is so dumb again, because it's not about us.
Well, and also you don't really know, right? Because you and I had kind of talked about what you wanted from me. And then it was the emoji,
which, stupid.
And then, like,
I mean, it was kind of cute when we finally exchanged the emojis once I could.
Yeah.
Because I think if I'm not wrong,
we exchanged emojis at the beginning. Like when you first started laboring, we had like one or two emoji exchanges.
All I remember,
and
I
then
don't remember that.
And then I got Yassine's text, and then I got a picture of Layla.
From Yassine?
No, from you. Me. Followed by, bitch, she was almost 9 pounds.
and then I think with that text exchange though, I did throw an emoji.
Probably.
Because
at that point I'm like, I don't care about these emojis anymore. Right. You're safe, you're okay, baby's here. Yeah, I remember I was like, she looks exactly like Mila.
Yeah. Well, just a quick tip, regardless of home birth or not, talk to your friends that are pregnant and just make sure y'all are on the same page around like
emojis.
Well, not emojis, texting. Do you want me to text? Do you not want me to text? Even if it ends up being different, just have a baseline.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of some friends that are going to be delivering soon. You guys know who you are. Or maybe by the time this episode comes,
we'll have all the babies gonna be here.
All the babies are gonna be here. But anyway, so that's a little tip. Just like, because you do have a lot of friends who are genuinely,
some people do,
worried. You have friends that are okay. If you're pregnant, I'm sure you have some friends who are wondering if baby's here.
Yeah.
And just maybe, I don't know, just come up with a little mini plan with your friends.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going off track.
Yeah. So, well, now I'm thinking about the list. When I gave birth, you were like, come up with a list of people that you want to text.
Yes, that is true.
And I think that's so important to have a little list in your phone of like, okay, who all do I need to let know that this baby was born?
Yeah, because not to make it about other people, but obviously you do want your people, your community to know.
It's a mutual thing, right? Yeah. Like, I'm not saying like someone that you feel like you have to tell. Who do you want to tell?
Yeah.
Right? Like, who
but
do you want to be?
But there's also some people that you feel like you have to tell because they'll feel offended if you don't tell them.
Maybe. I don't think I really cared about those people.
I don't have those people, but I think other people are in that boat.
Because then I'm like, this isn't about you.
Yeah, I know. But
not like us. You can, you're right. But you should be, for the record.
But yeah, I recommended after my birth with Mila, I recommended to Jocelyn, you should have a list and a note on your phone of the people that you want to tell first. Like, let's call it before social media finds out.
Yeah.
And I think that it's helpful because when you first give birth and your world gets flipped upside down, you're like, text who? What? Huh? And then you just kind of like lean on your spouse, your partner to to help out with that.
Yeah. But okay, tell us about the laboring process.
Okay.
Like, how did it start? Where did you labor? What did you do?
Yes.
Go.
Okay. So
did your water break?
My water broke. I was 40 weeks, 3 days. So we were very much in the zone of it could happen any day now.
Yeah.
Not to go off on a tangent, but when you start approaching your due date, everyone is asking nonstop, is baby here? Is baby here? Is baby here? And I'm like, I will let you know. Please stop asking me. But I couldn't really say that because I want them to ask, but it's kind of annoying. So it was very difficult. I had a really hard time on Layla's due date because there's a lot of pressure around baby not arriving by due date. People start to get concerned. Oh my God, baby's past due date. How much longer will you go on for before you decide to change your plan? And it's like,
I'm not changing
my plan.
Yeah.
But please stop getting in my head because now I remember having a conversation with my midwife about it and I like broke down. I feel anxiety that I'm at due date and baby's not here. And I also don't feel like she's coming anytime soon. I mean, I always knew that she was not going to come before the due date. I just had a feeling.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know how to navigate these emotions. Like it's really frustrating because I feel like I'm getting somewhere and then people will be like, so what's your plan if, and I'm like, can we not talk about an if?
Well, and like you said, it's not really your business.
Yeah. Like let it go.
Yeah.
Anyways. So.
Well, there are other questions to ask.
There are.
Right? Like, are you excited? Right. What are you looking forward to? I'm excited.
Yeah. Is there anything I can do to help? Can I send you some food? I'm thinking of you. Like a lot of people think that the support comes after the baby's here, but those final days leading up to whenever baby's going to come, you're looking for support. You're looking for things to pass the time, distractions. So I started to feel contractions, mild contractions when I was going to bed, Braxton Hicks. And then we went to sleep and I think it was around maybe midnight or so that I went to the bathroom and I saw my mucus plug. Bloody show is what people call it, right? Because it's kind of, so it looks like a bloody booger. Yeah. That comes out as kind of a sign that
things are starting.
Yes, things are starting to kick off. That was at midnight. And then I was like, okay, I'm chilling. This is part of the process. I'm not worried at all. I went back to sleep because that's what they tell you to do. And then at 2 a.m. I woke up to go pee. And that's when my water broke. And I was like, cool, like 2 for 2 in the toilet, no messes made.
There we go.
Which again, as you guys know from our last episode, it's actually really rare for water to break apparently.
Yeah.
So pretty cool that happened 2 for 2 in the toilet. And then I was like, okay, I don't want to wake Yassine up because he needs rest. I want to try to go back to sleep. I need rest because it's about to be a long journey. And so I went back to sleep somehow. And then I think we woke up around 6 a.m. or so. And Yassine thought it was just another day of waiting for Layla. And then I was like, hey, my water broke. And he was like, what? When? Are you okay? What's going on? And I was like, yeah. And then by that point, the contractions were starting to pick up. So I was like, okay, if he doesn't wake up soon, I'm going to have to wake him up.
You are so good.
For not waking him up.
Absolutely. Because even pregnant, me, if I'm awake, you're awake.
Yeah, no. I'm all about dividing and conquering.
If I'm suffering, you're suffering. You did this to me.
No. I knew that wasn't going to work for us. To each their own, right? Yeah. I just knew that's not going to help anybody. So I was like, let me just like wait. And then the contractions were definitely picking up. Mila was sleeping still. And then it was a school day. No, she was on break. She was on spring break, which, which was good and bad in a sense, because we needed to have plans for her made, besides just like dropping her off at school. It ended up being better because she went with Yassine's parents for the whole day, and then she ended up sleeping at their house. It was her first sleepover, so it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Going through contractions, I'm eating breakfast, I'm staying hydrated, and I communicate with my doula and my midwife, like where contractions are at. We're using a timer, we're timing them, all that stuff. They were very sporadic. There was no pattern. And then Miranda arrives, my doula, and things start to pick up a little bit. And I was mostly laboring in my bedroom. I was using a yoga ball a lot. I was bouncing up and down because that type of movement felt good. And so ultimately, when you're laboring, you just kind of have to move in a way that feels good. If you're in pain, movement helps counteract that. I was walking around quite a bit. I was getting into different stretching positions. I was getting on all fours. I was rocking back and forth, all these things. And then, you know, time was going by. Lunchtime comes around. I have to eat something. I'm in the kitchen. We end up going outside. It was such a beautiful spring day. Weather couldn't have been more perfect. It was gorgeous outside. I could give birth right here.
Yeah.
On my deck. Like, it was just so beautiful. And it was just like exactly the energy I wanted. And we all had lunch together. I was eating through contractions. That's kind of how it went. And then my midwife showed up. They're doing their thing. Labor was 22 hours long for me. I will say when things started really getting intense, that's when I thought that we were getting closer. And I was like, I'm ready to go into the tub, my bathtub, because pain was getting pretty intense. And I thought that the bathtub would help me relax more and push baby down. And that shit just totally relaxed me too much. So when we talk about labor being stalled, that's essentially what happened. I got into the tub. I put on my affirmations, my meditations. I went into a sleep because I was so relaxed, and I was also so tired that I ended up falling asleep. And I was in the water for several hours.
Yeah.
When I was in the tub, I remember kind of being in and out of it a lot. They were coming to check on me. They were checking for the heartbeat. They were asking me if I wanted to change positions. I was just so comfortable in that water, even though Yassine couldn't understand how I was so comfortable because the water was cold.
Yeah, I think about that all the time. Whenever you talk about being in the tub, I'm like, I would be freezing.
Yeah. But I guess like I was just really hot, so
yeah,
it was fine. I remember looking at the clock when I got in, and it was like 2:30 or 2:45, and then fast forward through all of the in and out, the repositioning, all of it. I noticed that the sun is completely set at this point, and because the bathtub is next to a window. And then Yassine comes, and it's just me and him for the first time, it feels like. And he's like, hey, you got to get out of this tub. And I'm like... So
did someone tell him to tell you that?
No.
Oh.
He did.
Yeah.
He was just like, babe, it's time for you to get out of this tub. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you've been in this tub for 5 hours. And I was like, no, I haven't. And I had my Apple Watch on, so I looked at the time, and it was 8:30 p.m. I woke up so quick.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm not going to sleep with this baby in me.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah.
So I got up
and Layla
so
was
fast.
Just chilling. She's like, oh, we're relaxed in this tub.
I got up so fast. I mean, so fast.
Yeah, for a 40-week pregnant woman. Yeah.
I got up so fast in my head. I stood up in the tub, and I was like, whoa, baby's coming right now. I felt so much pressure. It was like an elevator drop. As soon as I stood up, I felt Layla just completely shift downwards. And I was like, I think she's coming right here. And then that's when my midwife came running in, and they were like, okay, get in position, like get comfortable, whatever. And I was like, I thought I was going to squat her out because I started squatting. And because the thing about laboring with no epidural and no medication is that you feel everything. So you're basically just trying to be in tune with those feelings and like moving in a way that helps baby come. So when I felt her coming down, I was just like, okay, if I squat like this, then it feels worse or better, right?
Yeah.
And so I would just continue to move until I felt there was her movement happening, right? And it was just such an intense moment. And then I have to throw up.
Actually, I don't think I know this.
I threw up a few times, actually.
What?
Yeah, I threw up like 3 times altogether.
Was it nerves or
it was, I think, just things moving around.
Oh, yeah.
I think I don't think it was nerves, actually. I wasn't nervous at any point. I wasn't eating enough also, by the way. When I was in the tub for those 5 hours, I didn't eat anything.
You were in the zone.
I was in the zone. I was hydrating as much as I could. I remember giving me berries and honey sticks and just trying to get my energy up again. It was just so tiring. Anyway, I threw up. It was so funny. I threw up and then I was leaning on the toilet.
Yeah.
And I was like, this position feels good. Can we maybe get here, transition over here? And then Yassine was so good at remembering the different positions that I had sent him, and he was like, you should try facing the tank, right, and putting your legs up. So we put a stool on each side for each foot, almost like a squatty potty but reversed. And that felt really good. I definitely thought I was gonna have her in that moment, right? And I was just like, I don't know if this is exactly where I wanted it to happen, but like every time that we would get in a position and it felt good, I knew that those were the steps towards figuring out when she was actually going to come, because all of those different movements or all of those different positions were progress. That after a while didn't feel good for me anymore. And I felt so tired. I don't remember who it was. I think it was actually the birthing assistant, Emily. She was amazing. She was like, why don't you lay down for a little bit, rest? Because I hadn't laid down on a bed in several hours, right? So I was like, you know what? That sounds really good. So then I laid down on my side on the bed, and they were like propping me up, getting me a lot of pillows and stuff like that. They gave me the peanut ball to put between my legs, and then Miranda like lifted my right leg to like help me get more comfortable, and it was just a lock in. I was like, right there, that's it, this is it, I feel it, like right here. And then everyone got in position. The way that you know that baby's gonna come is that you just feel this immense urge to push. So my midwife was like, do you feel like you need to push? I was like, yes, I feel like I need to push. Whereas throughout the whole process, like I didn't feel the urge to push. When I stood up, I definitely felt the urge to push, but I hadn't felt it like this. So when she like held my leg up like that, I was like, okay, I feel the urge to push. I couldn't even like not push. My body was ready to eject something. Like it felt
a baby, like, in this case.
In this case, a baby. But it's almost like when you have to throw up and there's
nothing
control.
You can do.
That's how it was for birth. My body was just doing what it needed to do. And that's literally all I ever wanted. I wanted to be able to experience my body doing what it was supposed to do. And that's what happened. Like I pushed for, I think it ended up being 45 minutes. And
which is a long time. Like for someone who's never done it, like I know women push for a lot longer, but I think you envision push, And even the way you explain it, right? It sounds fast.
Yeah.
Like if you were like, oh, locked in there. I'm thinking about poor Miranda holding that leg up there for 45 minutes.
Girl. Miranda, I love you so much. She had to hold position. I think she ended up having to switch with someone, or they were switching out. I don't know. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
It was funny. Before I got in bed, I would take 4 steps and I would have to push, or I felt the urge to push, or a contraction would come. So it took me forever to get from the bathroom to the bed. And then when I got to the bed, to get into the bed was a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
And at one point, Emily, the birthing assistant, she was reading the heartbeat and other things. So she was knelt down and I had a contraction and I just grabbed her head. And she was like, I'm used to it. Pull my hair if you need to. Do anything you need to do. I'm here for you. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But it was the perfect position for me to just hold on for dear life. Emily, I appreciate you so much. And she was like, you got it. It's okay. And then you got me in the bed.
Pushing, is it like consistent? Are there breaks? Like once you're in those 45 minutes?
Yeah, there are breaks, but your body won't even like let you take the full break because as soon as you get one out, you're taking a breather to like collect yourself to do the next one. But your body's going to do it anyway.
Was it the most painful thing you've ever done?
Yes. No doubt about that.
Well, because I also remember after you had her, when we FaceTimed, I was like, okay, so how was it? And you were like, bitch, that shit hurts.
It was so painful.
And I was like, really? Like, you know.
But not, it's tough because it's one of those things where it's like when you get a tattoo. I know you don't have a tattoo, but when you get a tattoo and you're in that throbbing pain, and then as soon as it's done, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
That's what happened. As soon as she came out, it all went away. There was such a release. And then there was, so the reason I struggled to use pain, it was burning.
Oh.
Yeah. That was the pain part. It was burning. The ring of fire is real when they call it the ring of fire, when the head is crowning, because it is the most intense burning sensation ever. You could have told me that there was a candle down there and I would have believed you, because it was so strong, the sensation of burning. And essentially it's like skin ripping, almost, right? Stretching. So that's what it felt like down there. And like I could also feel my midwife applying a cold compress to the area, lubricant around the area to try to minimize tearing. And so whenever I would feel cooling or some type of relief, that's where I would push more, because this is manageable for this half of a second. Let me push in this moment. But the funny part is that Yassine had no plans on catching this baby. He was next to me the whole time. And then right when they were like, okay, she's coming, like we see hair, Emily, the birthing assistant, who by the way I met that day, she was like, Yassine, get over here. And he was like that was not part of the plan. She's like, come over here, get on this side. And he was like, okay. And so he got on that side and he's like, what do I do? Like, we didn't talk about this, right? I think they put gloves on him. I don't even know. And then she was like, okay, I could hear them being like, you're going to put your hands here and whatever. And he was like, okay. And then I had that one final push. She came out and then my midwife pushed the Yassine out of the way because her shoulder got stuck.
Oh.
But I wouldn't even have known. I had no idea why she pushed him out of the way. I didn't think, oh, this baby's in distress at all. She moved him. She did one tiny movement and then she was out.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm sorry. I had to jump in there. And he was like, no, all good. Like,
yeah, like, please. I wasn't even trying to be over there.
Exactly. Yeah. It was so funny. But yeah, her shoulder got stuck. And immediately I was like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
But I
okay, but now would you do it again?
Yeah. I hate to say that. But you know what's interesting? Would I do it again with no medication? Probably. Would I do it at home again? I would be okay not having it at home again.
Really? Well, you've advocated for yourself. You know you can do it.
I feel very happy that I made that possible for myself. What I struggle with is like the big reason why I wanted to have a home birth was because I wanted a VBAC, vaginal birth after cesarean. The chances of having a VBAC in the hospital are less than at home. And I really knew that I wanted it for myself, for Layla to have a better birth than a C-section. A C-section can be really distressing for the baby. And I wanted like the best possible birth for Layla. And it was a really redemptive experience for me. And I don't know that I need to experience that again to feel like I'm not missing anything anymore. I felt like I was missing something after Mila's birth because I was like, no, I really wanted to have a vaginal delivery. I wanted it to be a smooth process. I didn't want to go through a C-section. And so if I were to have a third, I think that we could completely think about whether or not that is me going to the hospital and doing it there just for, I would say it is, I don't know, there's conveniences and inconveniences of going to the hospital, because I could end up going to the hospital but not progressing enough to their standards and then getting sent home, right?
Or starting to get like the pressures that we like know people get.
Exactly.
Right?
Could I have labored for 22 hours at the hospital?
At some probably, but I don't know.
I don't know either.
You couldn't eat.
No. And so then another part of me is like, okay, I know what goes into having a home birth. I would tap on the same team, right? Yeah. And my body is supposedly, everyone says it would be that much easier the next time around. After you have one vaginal delivery, your body knows what to do. Maybe I would just do it again. Yeah. But like, also it's an expense. Like that wasn't covered by insurance.
So one thing that we haven't talked about that when you and I were talking about recording this episode, we wanted to touch on was, we talked a little bit about when we talk about you having a home birth and all of that, the feelings it brings up for me. Right. And not that I'm like anywhere near having another baby, but at some point I would like to have another baby if I can. And I always say I will probably just do another scheduled C-section, not because that's what I want, but because I don't think I can deal with the disappointment again. Yeah. And I've talked to a lot of moms that feel the same way, right? That maybe not necessarily wanted an unmedicated birth, but definitely wanted a vaginal birth, and birth didn't go their way or the way they wanted. And they end up in a C-section, get pregnant again, and don't want to experience that disappointment again. And as you're talking now, I'm like, gosh, I really want a VBAC. Like, I've always wanted a home birth, but if it doesn't work out, so much prep work goes into it. I don't know if I could do it. And you said there's one thing that you need in order to have a home birth. Do you remember what you said it was?
The willpower.
Willpower. Yeah. Like willpower, determination. You just have to believe
that you can do it.
And that you're going to.
Yeah. I strongly believe that is the number one thing you need, because you're going to have so many people telling you that, trying to convince you that is not for you, whether that's your baby's too small, your baby's too big. And just a huge disclaimer, you have to be a good candidate for a VBAC, and you have to be a good candidate for a home birth. I don't want to make it seem like it's that simple. Yeah. Because it's not. And I don't want to make anyone feel like having a hospital birth is bad, because it's not, right? Like, it's very important that I distinguish that if it makes sense for you, like if it's possible medically, if it's the smart thing to do. You did have some complications.
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about that too, right? Like, I don't know if I'd even be a candidate for a home birth.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've talked to my doctors about VBAC, and it seems like, I could be a good VBAC candidate. I wonder on that too, though, if I'm as sick as I was with Aurora.
Exactly.
Because then, like, you're talking about this and you need a lot of energy.
You do need a lot of energy.
And like, if you're not eating, where do you get that energy from? And I wasn't eating. So if I do have a pregnancy like that, I probably would be like, let me just have another C-section.
Yeah.
Because I know what to expect.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think time heals, like, dare I say all, right? Time heals so much. And like, while this is still maybe fresh for you, like Aurora's not that old yet, you will heal more from that and your future birth, whatever it ends up being. Yeah. If it ends up being a second C-section, you're going to heal from that eventually. And it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? I think there are some feelings that moms have around, like, I wish I had been different, when they're like in their 50s, 60s, right? But it's not something that consumes them anymore. Yeah. Because they have healed from it. You know what I mean? They see that their children, even regardless of the birth, their children are their everything. They're exactly what they wanted. And you can just appreciate that the outcome was better than that, right? Yeah. The outcome of having your children healthy, happy on this earth, regardless of how they got here, is more important sometimes than that, right? Yeah. As moms, we sacrifice so much already. It's like, it's just a part of it. And I know that sounds kind of sucky, but it's true. Willpower is definitely necessary, because you're going to have so many opinions telling you that you need to not have a home birth. Yeah. And you just need to stand firm. Not everyone can do that. You know what I mean? And that's okay.
You're right. Whichever way you take is okay, because we said in our blog, it's your birth story and it's your baby's birthday. Yes. I think that I hadn't necessarily experienced this, but I know that there's a lot of chatter in the Latino community about how, I'm laughing because it's just ridiculous, but how if you have a C-section, you love your baby less.
That's so silly.
And it's so dumb. But I know that there are women who like take that to heart because they're like, people think that I love my baby less. And there's just no way you could love that baby less.
Well, you know what that makes me think about is one conversation that we had over the phone around the decision to have a home birth. At the time I wanted it photographed. You were like, I feel like you're putting a lot of emphasis into this birth, and I don't know how you said it, but it was something like, do you ever think about how Mila will feel? Oh yeah. Knowing that her experience was completely different than Layla's experience. And I think I gave you a different perspective that day, because I was like, it's not about, like, I separate it. It's not about Mila and it's not about Layla. It's about me. This is a me thing. Yeah. In the future, when I talk to Layla and Mila about it, I think that they will understand what I mean by that, and saying that in order for their births to have been successful, it needed to come from me. I needed to be selfish in what I needed and what I wanted. And as a result, they benefited from that. Yeah. So I thought it was really interesting, because for you to even think about it from that perspective, because a lot of moms or people in general focus their energy on the baby. But I think for me to have had a successful home birth, I needed to be very selfish. I needed to be grounded with what I wanted, what I knew I needed. I knew in my core, my heart of hearts, I cannot visualize continuing to go to these OB appointments in this awful office, in these cold rooms, trying to convince OBs that I'm going to have a VBAC, when they literally didn't understand why I wouldn't just take the easy way out. And I say easy because it's not. And they just simplified it. Why don't you just get another C-section? You already know what to expect. It's not about that. can you just stop for a second and think about what this has done for me? Mm-hmm. And granted, I just also have to say, I'm a very introspective person. I process and reflect so much. And for some people, it's just not that deep. Mm-hmm. And like,
yeah,
that's totally fine. You know what I mean? I respect everyone's position in the process of making that decision. Mm-hmm. But I knew that for me, the work that I did to heal from Mila's birth not being what I wanted, I could not have gone through that and decided to still have another C-section. I also had to come to terms with the fact that there was a possibility I would end up with another C-section, because if things didn't go the right way, if I, God forbid, had to go to the hospital for whatever reason and end up having a C-section, I needed to internalize that and accept that that was a possibility. Mm-hmm. And when I had to come to that realization, I had to also ask myself if I was okay with that. And the conclusion that I came to was, I just need to know that I tried. Mm-hmm. I could live with having another C-section as long as I knew that I did everything in my power to try, right? Mm-hmm. That could look like a lot of different things for other moms who are struggling with the same question. Their definition of trying could look different than mine. Yeah. My version of trying was getting everything set up for a home birth. And if I ended up in the hospital, that's okay. Mm-hmm. Other people's version of trying could be advocating for yourself in that room for a VBAC every single time you go to an appointment. Mm-hmm. And then getting to the end of the road, being at the hospital and not having a VBAC. That is you trying. Yeah. You know what I mean? So all of that could look different for so many moms. No way is the right or wrong way.
Absolutely.
So I think that's just so important to remember. I also think it's funny because a lot of people assume that because I had a home birth, I'm going to try to convince other people to have home births.
Oh, yeah.
That is just not the case. I'm all for it. Yeah. You guys want to talk about how to have a home birth? Come to me.
I'm a resource.
I will help you find the people that will help you have a home birth. But if you are like, that is definitely not for me, I respect you, but I'm good, I'm all for that too. Yeah. It's so individual to each person. It's an independent, individual decision.
Yeah, so, absolutely. It's a personal choice.
Personal choice.
Yeah.
I could talk about this forever.
I know. I love this topic.
Yeah.
Yay.
Let's wrap it up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks
for
Bye,
listening.
Guys. Bye. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of the Mommillennials community. If you liked this episode, hit that follow button, connect on our socials, and don't forget to share with other mommies.
Want more? Head to our website, read our blog, grab some merch, and check out our other episodes. Until next time, bye.